Jason Vargas shut out the Rays for 7 innings when he faced them last week. Tonight, he hopes to keep the string going for Angels pitchers as the Halos look for their 10th win in their last 11 games. Just under 4 hours last night, but the Halos picked up the victory 11-2 the final. Tonight, it's game 2 of the 4-game series against the visiting Tampa Bay Rays. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A and alongside my broadcast partner, Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. So glad you could join us for Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. And let's talk a little bit about the pitching, because last night, both teams threw a lot of pitches. Both teams were out of the strike zone. Garrett Richards did pick up the win, going the requisite 5. But throughout this stretch of games, including that nice road trip, the pitching has been fantastic.
Yeah, Victor, it's been amazing when you think about it. The last 10 ball games, 9-1 their record with an ERA barely over 2, and during that stretch you can mix in 3 shutouts, which is best in the majors at this point as far as the record. ERA, opponents' batting average down, the home runs, they haven't been giving them up because they've been keeping the ball down in the strike zone. The relievers have been doing their job, and this is all set up. The fact is, Mike Scioscia can start playing Angel baseball. We saw that last night. Very aggressive, stealing bases, putting a lot of pressure on a very good pitcher in Chris Archer. How you score against him? By making him pitch in the stretch and aggressively stealing some bases. 4, as a matter of fact, during that game last night, going first to third, taking that extra base, putting the pressure on a very good defensive club, and by doing so, you scratch across a couple of tough runs. Big thing against Tampa. They don't give up a lot. They don't make many mistakes in the field, so you have to put pressure on them, get them out of their comfortable position. When you do that, you can score some runs. So I love what I saw last night. Aggressive base running. The defense has been there. You mentioned the pitching staff. It's been great. When you throw up a lot of zeros early on, you can be aggressive, and that's been a formula for success so far.
Well, let's see if the Angels can make it 2 in a row. They've struggled against left-handed pitching this season. Matt Moore comes off the disabled list for the Rays. He will get the start for Tampa Bay, and Jason Vargas on the hill for the Halos. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by the Hyundai Labor Day Sales Drive, now through September 3rd. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by your SoCal Ram dealers. Visit ramtrucks.com today. A lot of hits last night, a lot of pitches thrown, no doubt about that. 11-2, though, the Halos pick up the victories. We welcome you back to the Big A, Game 2 of this 4-game series between the Angels and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays in second place in the American League East. 5.5 games back at the start of the day of the Boston Red Sox. They have been reeling of late and still have not won a game in the Pacific time zone. Joe Madden, as a matter of fact, yesterday quoting Winston Churchill on Twitter after the game.
And why would you not?
Yeah, when you're going through hell, he says, keep going. And that's how difficult it has been for Joe Madden. Let's take a look at his starting 9 as the Angels have taken the field. The Rays at 75 and 61 is Desmond Jennings leading things off at center field. Ben Zobrist at second base. Evan Longoria at third. Delvin Young the DH. He's the cleanup hitter. James Loney at first. Will Myers in right field. Kelly Johnson gets the start in left. Jose Lobaton getting the second consecutive start behind the dish. And it's Junel Escobar batting ninth and playing shortstop. Taking on Vargas, looking for his 9th win. This will be his 5th start since coming off the disabled list, just his 2nd at home.
Yeah, he's been throwing the ball much better of late, though. Velocity picking up, his changeup command very, very good. 3-1 in his last 4 starts against the Rays with an ERA in the ones. 5-1 overall at home this year. Pitching in the Big A for Vargas. Very good changeup, fastball pitches both sides of the plate with his fastball. Slider curve also very solid.
Defensively for the Angels behind Jason Vargas. No Mike Trout out field. He is serving as the DH. So J.B. Shuck is in left, Peter Borges in center, Colin Cowgill in right, Luis Jimenez and Eric Ibar on the left side of the infield, Grant Crane, who hit his first home run last night, and Mark Trumbo on the right side, and Chris Sinetta behind the plate.
Trumbo getting that start back at first base. 90th start at first base this season, has committed 8 errors, has turned 69 double plays from the first base position, and 990 fielding percentage from that spot.
There's Mike serving as the DH today. The quasi day off. Nice game for him last night, including a couple of stolen bases. Now with 31. First Angel ever to have back-to-back seasons of 20 or more home runs and 30 and more stolen bases. First one tonight, in for a strike. Desmond Jennings hitting .251, 11 home runs, 41 runs batted in. 2 for 2 game last night. He was on board 4 times. Also had a couple of walks, batting in the 8th spot in the order. Rays taking the loss last night. The 61st of the season as Jennings on that check swing, fooled on the pitch, pops out to Cowgill. There's the first out of the game. Take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Speaking of that swing, radar love. Jason Vargas, the guy, doesn't necessarily light up the radar as far as velocity on the fastball, but changes speeds exceptionally well, gets hitters out in front just like he did with Jennings. Change-up command, very, very important for him. Same thing with his breaking ball and spotting that fastball.
Ben Zobrist, switch-hitting second baseman, looks at a strike. Homer to the first inning last night off Garrett Richards. Had a 2 for 5 game with 2 runs batted in. .275 overall batting average. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zobrist with 11 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Much better hitter from the left side. And he is from the right this season. .239 average from this side of the plate. There's the 1-1 outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jason, a fantastic start against the Rays the last time out, which he struggled in the first inning. Command was a huge, huge issue for him in that first inning, but worked out of a bases loaded situation and shut down the Rays for 7 innings on 2 hits as Zobrist pops this one to shallow center field. Eric Ibar drifting out there, makes the catch, 2 down.
Boy, great read by Ibar going back on that pop-up. There's no way Borges was going to be able, even with his closing speed, to catch that baseball. Playing in the hole with shortstop, right away reacts and goes back on it very well. Be able to track it down and make it look routine in the end. But Ibar goes back on a pop-up as well as any shortstop in the majors.
2 outs, bases clear. Evan Longoria, the third baseman, now stepping up. Longoria's average at .263 now, after going 0 for 4 last night, including a walk. Lines this one to left. A base hit on the very first pitch he sees. And we'll bring up Delvin Young.
It's the first hit he's gotten against the Angels this season. A real good job as far as pitching him.
Yeah, last 2 years have been tough for Longoria against the Angels. But it was the other guys in the lineup for the Rays last year that got the job done against the Angels. Halos 1-9 against Tampa Bay last season. Delvin Young swinging first pitch, pops it up to Grant Green. Top of the first is in the books. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Chuck Iannetta Trout to face Matt Moore with no score. And that is all as we start the bottom of the first inning with no score. Here's Mike Scioscia starting 9 for the Halos at 64-72. And J.V. Shuck leading things off and left. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Mike Trout the DH. Trumbo at first. Eric Ibarge short. Luis Jimenez at third. Peter Borges at center. Colin Calgill gets it started right. And Grant Green at second base. As they take on the 24-year-old left-hander. Man who was born in Florida. Went to Okinawa, Japan with his dad. And the high school in New Mexico. His name is Matt Moore.
Matt Moore has been fantastic this season, making his first start since July 28th, 14-3 mark. Fastball 90-95. Curveball and very good changeup.
22nd start. First coming off the disabled list. 14-game winner as he delivers a strike. Left elbow soreness for Matt Moore. That's why he was on the shelf for just over 30 days. JB hitting .297, 8-game hitting streak for him. Fouls this one back. No balls and 2 strikes.
One thing to keep in mind with Matt Moore tonight, 5 innings or 90 pitch limit for him. So if you're a hitter, you're going to try to work him as far as the counts. Because if he gets on a roll with his fastball command, very difficult to make good contact against him.
Check swing, he went around. Home plate umpire Bill Miller rings up Shuck, and there's the first out. Defensively for the Rays, Johnson, Jennings, Myers in the outfield from left to right. The infield has Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney from third to first. Lobaton behind the plate.
And Kelly Johnson getting the start out in left field, has 6 outfield assists, but has played second base, first base, and third base. Again, a number of those players for Joe Maddon on Tampa have played numerous positions and played them well.
There's Chris Iannetta swinging at the first one. 0-1 count. First start in his big league career in the number 2 spot in the lineup. Played in 2 other games in that 2 spot, but then just a double switch defensively. .212 average on the year. 7 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Count evened up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Moore at the time that he went on the disabled list, second in the American League in wins behind Max Scherzer, who had 15 at that point. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and still with his 14 wins, still third in the American League.
That's that good changeup he has. That one at 85 miles an hour. Pretty good scouting when you get him in the 8th round.
Check swing. He wanted an appeal, did not go, says Todd Tichenor.
What makes his changeup and curveball so effective? He has very fluid mechanics, doesn't overthrow. So as a hitter, you're thinking fastball, but the same mechanics, same arm slot with his curveball and changeup. Very difficult to time.
2-2 down low. Full count. And if you're the Angels and you look at what happened last night as far as the bullpen is concerned for the Rays and the struggles they'd had, you got a guy that more than likely is going to be limited as far as how long he can go. You think that they try to work him a little bit.
Yeah, you have to. You have to force the issue as far as pitch count, especially if you do that early on.
3-2 is hooked foul down the left field line. And he walked him. Oh, 1-out walk puts a man on, and Mike Trout will stroll to the plate.
You want to see out of your number 2 guy in that lineup is some patience, especially to get guys on base. And able to hit that ball to the right side of the infield if Mike Scioscia decides at some point, although difficult with a lefty pitcher, to put a hit and run on.
Trout last night 2 for 4. Couple of singles, a fly to right, a walk, and a strikeout. .335 batting average, 23 home runs, 82 runs batted in. Takes upstairs. .11 pitches thrown by the lefty. 6 strikes, 5 balls. 4th career start against the Angels. 2-0 record at a 1.96 ERA. First 3. 2-0. Lobaton's going to go out and talk things over.
Pretty close as far as the batting average race in the American League. Cabrera still leading with .355. Trout is behind at .335. Cabrera's been nursing some injuries of late. He's 4 for his last 17. He hits tonight. John Lester up in Boston.
Went 0 for 4 in that game against Lester. That one caught the top part of the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. J.B. Shuck struck out. Struck the bottom of the first. Chris Iannetta looked to count full and drew the walk. He stands at first base. Trumbo on deck. No score here at the bottom of the first. 3-1.
Just 1 for 6 against Matt Moore in his career, but that 1 hit being a big fly for Trout, and he's in a great hitter's count now, 3-1. For a guy getting his first start back since coming off the disabled, you wonder how effective he's going to be with his command. This might be your opportunity to get some runs on the board early.
Challenger with a fastball and a full count. Moore missing 31 games on the disabled list. The Rays through that stretch, 13-18 record, 3rd worst record in the American League during that time. ERA over 4 as a team without him in the rotation. Trout backing out. Rays on a long road trip. Oakland here for 4 and then up to Seattle.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I would plan it out. And a swing and a miss. Off speed pitch. 2 down.
Threw him a 3-2 changeup. After the pitch before, a fastball 93 inside. Backed it up with a very good changeup. We're all generally middle in against Trout. And Moore has that good fluid delivery, especially with his changeup. As a hitter, you're reading fastball, but then 83 is compared to 93.
So 2 outs, a man on, and Mark Trumbo at the plate. Trumbo hitting .237 on the year. Mark will look at a strike. 29 home runs for Trumbo. 84 runs batted in. Played on Sunday in Milwaukee. Went 1 for 4 in that ball game.
What we've seen from Bill Miller behind the plate, the umpire, he will call the inside pitch, which will come into favor for both Moore and for Vargas. Both pitch inside well.
Breaking pitch, bounce foul. 0-2.
The one thing, though, as a hitter, when you have an umpire calling that pitch inside, you're more apt to have the pitcher throw a few more. And if you make a mistake inside, that's when you could turn on a baseball and hit it a long way. .333 batting average against Matt Moore for Mark Trumbo, including a home run.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Effortless is what has been described as Moore's mechanics. Just nice and easy. Try easy. So you, wasn't that one of your pitching coaches in Kansas City?
Yeah. Don't overthrow. Just think in terms of playing catch with the catcher instead of overpowering your catcher.
Breaking pitch, rolled foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes still. At such a young age still, 24. 11-11 last year with a 3.81 ERA. And has postseason experience.
He's a great kid to talk to, too. Very, very personable.
Another 1-2 on the way. This was popped up on the first base side, down the line. Moving over and dropping Myers. I don't think Myers ever saw the baseball.
We're looking up, trying to be able to track. As he was running over, he thought that ball had a chance to go into the stands, and then stops and waiting for Zobrist to come over to help him out. That's a right fielder's baseball.
I mean, Zobrist is pretty good, but that's a long way to go. Yeah, right.
No idea where the baseball is at. Fortunate enough for him and the Rays, it's a foul ball.
That's one of those you run to a spot and hope that you pick it up as you get there. He did, but he was in the wrong spot. See if Trumbo can make more pay for it. Still a ball and 2 strikes. 21 pitches thrown by the lefty. And that'll work in the 1-out walk, still at first base. Off speed, bounce to the right side. Zobrist comes charging in. Flips it to first. And the Angels half of the first comes to an end. Through 1, we are scoreless. Ready to lead things off against Jason Vargas.
And coming up later in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Hurler going for number 20 today. We'll let you know if indeed he picked up that victory. And a certain club trying to get to that 500 mark with a win tonight. First time that would be accomplished for that club since 1992.
Loney takes outside. 304 batting average for the lefty. 11 home runs and 60 runs batted in his first season with the Rays. 0 for 1 last night with a walk. 2 walks, I should say. And a ground out. Drops it for a strike. 1-1. $14 walks issued combined last night as Loney rips one out to right. Cowgill thought about diving for it, but plays it on a short hop. Keeps it in front of him. It's a leadoff single for Loney.
Loney now 3 for 6 against Vargas. The reason why you try to keep that in front of you and not dive necessarily because if it gets by, it's a double or a triple. Instead, put yourself in position with Vargas and his ability to change speeds to get a ground ball double play.
Here's Will Myers, the right fielder. Myers hitting .280 now. 9 home runs and 39 runs batted in. Rookie takes the off-speed pitch upstairs. 0 for 4 last night with a couple of strikeouts and a big strikeout in the 5th inning against Garrett Richards. A 3-2 count on a pitch that was way in off the plate. Should have been ball 4, and a run coming in for the Rays ended up being a strikeout. Gave Richards the requisite 5 innings to qualify for the win. Garrett picked up his 5th of the year, 5th win that is. But career high 7 walks for him last night.
Bottom line is if you're Garrett Richards, you look up, you gave up 1 run, 5 innings. Yes, it wasn't perfect. You walked too many guys, but the reality is your stuff was still good enough to prevent the Rays from scoring more than 1 run during that course of 5 innings.
Myers lifts one, foul and out of play on the right side. Helps too that the Rays were 1 for 11 with men in scoring position. Unable to get the job done in last week's series against the Angels and again last night. Two balls, 2 strikes. James Loney over first with a leadoff single.
Last time out against Vargas, Myers worked a couple of walks, including 3 in the game. 2 against Vargas. Great numbers in his last 7 home starts, 5-0 with 2.66 ERA.
Pulled to third and past Jimenez. Shuck over to try to cut it off. Does so. Heading to third and stopping there is Loney. So the Rays have their first 2 men on board here to start the second.
Pitch on the inner half, and Myers was able to turn on that one and got it by Jimenez, which has not been easy to do. Almost got to that baseball and all the way down in the corner. Nice job by Shuck to be able to cut that one off and get it in and prevent a run from scoring.
Jimenez playing in at the cut of the grass at third. It's Kelly Johnson. Chops the first one towards Trumbo. He'll flip to Vargas. He's out at first. The run comes in. 1-0 Rays as Johnson picks up his 51st RBI.
It's one of those outs too. It's productive, not only getting the run home, It also gets Will Myers over to third base. Going to force Mike Scioscia to bring the infield in here now. And the reason why you're seeing that, because Matt Moore is on the hill tonight for the Rays. Granted, be on a pitch count. We cannot afford to give up too many runs here with him on the mound.
So hitting catcher Jose Lobaton takes a breaking ball for a strike. Lobaton picked up 3 walks last night, so had a double and a run scored. That was against Corey Rasmus. .266 average, 6 home runs, 27 RBIs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lobaton .258 from the right side, .271 from the left. Overall, as a team, the Rays have been better against left-handed pitching than they have against right-handed pitching. .275 as a team. .251 against righties. So I'm going to miss 1 and 2. A single by Loney, the double by Myers. The RBI ground out by Kelly Johnson, putting the Rays up early. They took the early lead last night. Swinging a miss, got him on the off-speed pitch, 2 down.
That's a real good sequence by Vargas. Pitch before, fastball at 88. Lobaton looking fastball again. Instead, this time Vargas throws a great changeup to finish him off, getting that big punch out, now allowing the infield to go back in their normal position. Turn over that changeup, great action. Lobaton well out in front, could not make contact. Remember the thing with Escobar, though, always looking first pitch fastball.
Fouls it off to the right. 89-mile-per-hour fastball. .265 hitter is the shortstop. 8 home runs and 52 runs batted in. Has 22 doubles on the year. Batting in the 9-hole once again. 0 for 3 last night, reaching on an error and striking out twice. On the corner. Just a beautiful pitch. Escobar spent the majority of the season for him in the 9th spot in the order. He's at 300 in that spot. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him to expand his strike zone. Back-to-back strikeouts for Vargas. And we'll head to the bottom of the second with the Rays leading at 1-0.
Ibar, Jimenez, and Borges for the Angels to face the left-hander Matt Moore. Let's take a look at our AT&T Twitter poll question of the series. Your favorite new Angels position player, Cole Calhoun, Colin Cowgill, or Grant Green? The hashtags are just below each of them. Send us a tweet at Fox Sports West. I'll give you the updated total a little bit later on. As of last night, Cole Calhoun leading the charge, although Grant Green pinch hit home run in the 7th inning, his first big league home run.
And that ball was hit the other way for Grant Green.
He's able to get the baseball back.
It's a good approach he had. Also that big double in Milwaukee right down the third base line. So the big at bats for him of late.
Ibar drives one, I should say, out to left field. Kelly Johnson's not going to get there. It's a one-hopper off the fence. Eric in at second, the leadoff double, his 24th of the year, especially coming off a hot game last night.
So big of a game. He's in the number 5 spot. For Mike Scioscia, a lot of right-handed bats against Matt Moore. Good balance and then threw the baseball well. Good extension on the bat also for Ibar. Drives it, one hops the wall. Great swing for him. 24th double of the season.
Had a couple of extra base hits last night. The triple and the home run, 4 RBIs. Second 4 RBI game for Eric in the last week against the Rays. Luis Jimenez at the plate. Luis hitting .253, has 4 doubles, 5 runs batted in. 0 for 3 last night, but did have a sacrifice fly. Was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance.
Well, the last 3 at bats for Ibar: a home run, a triple, now a double.
They get carryover cycles.
It's the old Tiger Woods grand slam.
This would bounce to third. Not a productive out for Jimenez. 1 out, got him to chase.
Always felt that with the man on second and no outs, as a pitcher, you have 2 approaches against a right-handed batter there. Either you throw a hard fastball in, or you throw something slow. The slow pitch forces a hitter out in front, but you're more apt to pull the ball, and you will not allow that man at second to be able to advance to third. Hitters want a fastball away so they can hit it to the right side of the infield.
There's Borges getting to start at center tonight. Multi-hit game for him last night. Off the plate, Peter with a couple of singles, an RBI, stolen base, 2 runs scored. Rays with a run at the top of the second. We see the Kelly Johnson ground down, scoring James Loney from third. Ibar with a leadoff double stands at second. Spin move.
More of a situation where Zobrist went in there to say, just pay attention to Ibar. Not necessarily going to see a pickoff put on, but it's more of a situation where you're trying to shorten up a secondary lead.
Two and 0. Colin Cowgill on deck. Another off-speed pitch. Nice job by Peter.
Well, he felt good about getting some results last night in the game. A couple hits. Trying to get that swing together.
And he walked him. Second walk issued by Moore. This one on 4 pitches. Bring up Colin.
Hickey, the pitching coach, looking on just to make sure there's nothing mechanically wrong. Matt Moore. He will walk some batters on occasion, coming into the game 56 walks in 121 and a third innings pitched, so he can get wild on occasion.
Calgill hitting .298 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Remember the Angels? First start for him since August 18th here against Houston. Defensive replacement against Milwaukee on 31st. Came into the game late last night. Also defensive replacement. First one's upstairs. Not getting off-speed pitch. Throw off your fastball. You threw 4 off-speed pitches to Borges trying to get him to chase. And now that fastball misses high.
Yeah, the first inning he got all 3 outs on off-speed pitches. A swing and miss by Shuck on a curveball. Then 2 change-ups. One the Trout, one the Trumbo.
That one on the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good speed on the bases for the Angels with Ibar at second and Borges at first. Big lead for Ibar at second base. Calgill takes a big rip at a changeup. 1-2.
Now your approach changes. Now you have to shorten up. Zobrist is sneaking in a little bit more so at that base. Matt Moore may spin around and throw a ball to second.
Ground ball, weakly hit to short. Escobar feeds Zobrist for 1. Relay to first. Gets away from Loney. Ibar will score. We're tied at 1.
Good hard slide from Borges. One of the things that doesn't get talked a lot about when it comes to Peter Borges, but his instincts for the game as Ibar scores the tying run here. Those little intangibles that Borges brings at a hard slide from Zobrist. Able to get on that bag, but the hard enough slide to be able to force the issue, move away from the base, a higher throw from Zobrist, and gets away from Loney. But aggressively going into second base for Borges. Much more difficult path to throw the ball for Zobrist because of the slide.
Zobrist gets charged with an error, 5th of the year. And his second in less than a week. Set the Rays club record for most consecutive games without an error. At 81 consecutive games. Snapped that last Friday against Oakland. Green swings through the first one. Snowballs at a strike. Grant hitting .250 with that home run that he hit last night. 7 runs batted in. A 1-1 tie courtesy of that error. Oh, 2. Top of the order, J.B. Shuck on deck. Taylor's responding with the run that the Rays put on the board. Eric started it off with a double. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. And the inning comes to an end, but the Halos do tie it up. A run on a hit, 1 error, 1 left on. We are through 2. Top of the order due up for the Rays. Jennings, Zobrist, and Longoria. Desmond Jennings 0 for 1, hit a fly ball and a check swing. Two strikeouts, 3 hits allowed by Vargas. This one lifted out to deep left center field. Borges giving chase at the wall, and the Rays have retaken the lead on Jennings. 12th home run of the year. 2-0 Tampa Bay. 2-1 Tampa Bay, pardon me.
He was able to square that one up very well against Vargas. Very aggressive second pitch of this bat. Jennings showing that good power that he has. Fastball. Instead of having that little two-seam sink action, ran in the middle of the plate. Jennings got the good part of the bat and drives it out. Home run number 12, 42nd RBI.
Some serious extension on the part of Jennings. Second straight inning, which the Rays have gotten their leadoff man to reach. Zobrist takes outside for ball 1. Zobrist popped out to Eric Ibarn, shallow center. His first inning at bat. That last start for Vargas against the Rays, he pretty much owned that outside part of the plate. Two and one now. Jason threw 8 pitches in the first, 17 in the second. Most part been very economical. Matt Moore has thrown 37 through his first 2. 3-1.
Well, the first inning, the Rays hitters were up there hacking early. Now showing more patience.
There's a walk. First issued by Vargas. Bring up Longoria. Fans, the Angels baseball, I should say, will be inducting its newest member, Bobby Knopp, into the Team Hall of Fame on Thursday when they host the Rays at 7:05. Join us as we welcome back Angel greats Rod Carew, Jim Fregosi, Bobby Grich, Brian Downing, and Chuck Finley for this event. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or log on at angels.com.
A fantastic history here with the Angels.
Zobrist at first, Longoria at the plate. Since the first one, it fouls it back. They haven't had a single in left field in the first inning. 2-out knock. First hit against the Angels this year. 1 for 1. One ball, one strike. Rays hitters tracking Vargas a little bit better tonight.
That's one pitch he hasn't had quite the feel for yet. This is his breaking ball.
Two and one now. Zobrist at first base has 10 stolen bases, been caught twice. That is going to go out and talk things over.
Yeah, you would think the 2-1 pitch will be a changeup here from Vargas. Longoria very quick on a fastball or even something off speed on the inner half. You throw a changeup, make sure it's down and away.
Vargas was matched up with Jake Odorizzi in that Thursday finale, St. Petersburg. On the corner, Longoria looks like he thought that pitch was off the plate.
Well, that's where you want to throw the pitches anyhow against him with his stance and his approach. Vargas throws a fastball just a bit outside. That was called a strike.
Well, if he's going to give you that,
you got to go change up or fastball, same spot.
I had a set up out there. That's in the dirt. 3-2 count now on Longoria with Zobrist at first. Delman Young on deck. They walked him. So a home run and back-to-back walks by Vargas. Still nobody out here to third. Mike Butcher's going to come out.
The bottom line for Vargas in the conversation now with Mike Butcher and Chris Iannetta is Delman Young is a guy, if he hits the ball on the ground, you got a great chance at a double play. To think downstairs, think away.
Delman Young released by the Philadelphia Phillies. 261, 8 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Signed by the Rays. His originating club. Oh for 1. He popped out. Grant Green in the first. Zobrist at second, Longoria at first. 2-1. Rays on top. Here at the third. That fly to left, a base hit. Schuck will play the hop. Zobrist will stop at third. Jason Vargas still looking for that first out. Has a bases loaded situation, and James Loney coming up.
Some mislocations in this inning for Vargas. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Loney single to right, leading off the second. Vargas looking for that double play ball.
Yeah, at this point, your mindset is just limit the damage. It'd be difficult to prevent Tampa from scoring one more run here, but the bottom line is that's about all you want to give up here now.
Loney grounds one to third. Jimenez bobbles it, comes home. Hit the force out. Fire to first. Got him, a double play.
Jimenez able to gather himself. Tough ground ball off the end of the bat from a left-handed batter. Spin on it. Make a quality play. Getting a double play out of that ground ball from Loney. Knocks it down. Gathers himself, strong throw, and Iannetta very quick steps on the plate and fires the perfect throw to Mark Trumbo. 5-2-3 double play.
Again, Jimenez not getting rattled, even dropping the baseball. Composed and throwing a strike to Chris Iannetta, making sure of one. Runners at second and third now. Here's Myers, who looks at a strike. Myers doubled into second, was stranded at third. It was his 12th double of the season. One ball, one strike. Again, there's that changeup, and just you're not getting guys overly aggressive on that pitch as we saw in that last start. One and two.
That's when you go back to when you're having a tough time getting the club to swinging your changeup away. You back it with your two-seam fastball away, then you throw your changeup. You want to give that same plane, both your two-seam fastball and your changeup. Then you'll start getting some more swings if you're Vargas.
A couple of more calls on the fastball in the outside corner, perhaps. Opens that up a little bit.
Exactly.
Myers strikes out, swinging, and Vargas, with the help of Luis Jimenez, limits it to just one run on the Jennings home run. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Halos trailing down. UFC Wednesday premieres on Fox Sports 1 with the prelim fights leading up to the main event on UFC Fight Night as third-ranked light heavyweight Glover Teixeira takes on Ryan Bader. Then it's the season premiere of The Ultimate Fighter featuring rival coaches Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate. UFC Wednesday begins at 1 p.m. Pacific with the UFC Fight Night pre-fight show tomorrow. Fox Sports 1. Top of the order for the Halos: J.B. Shuck, Chris Iannetta, Mike Trout. Desmond Jennings putting the Rays back on top with his 12th of the year. That came leading off the third. J.B. a strikeout victim in the first, 0 for 1. Matt Moore, first start off the disabled list. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 1 hit allowed. That was the leadoff double to Eric Ibar in the second.
I wonder at some point J.B. Shuck won't try to drag bunt against Matt Moore.
Pops this one up behind the plate. Lobato off of the mask. 1 down. Here comes Iannetta, the catcher. Chris with a walk in his first inning plate appearance. Moore jumping up to 94 miles per hour. Caught the inside corner. 1-1. Trying to keep the velocity in check. He's got 94, 95 in the tank, if not more.
Yeah, he used to be a guy that can rush up there at 97, but he's a little more wild when he's up that far with the velocity.
Breaking pitch, tap foul, 1-2. Averaging just 92.5 miles per hour in his fastball this season compared to 94.1 last year. In his own admission, saying more of a pitcher than just being a thrower. He knew he could rely on that fastball, but wants to incorporate the changeup, breaking ball a little bit more so.
Yeah, when you have that good of a changeup and that sharp of a breaking ball, there's no need to try to hump up and try to throw 97, 98. And obviously, when you miss the amount of time that he has in between starts here at the major league level, you wonder if he's going to have that consistent velocity. So you're going to see a 95, but you're going to see a 90, 91. That's why it's important for him to be successful, to mix in his changeup and curveball.
2-2 on the way. Iannetta bounces it foul. Gloved by Longoria.
That's fastball at 95, slowest curveball at 78. His changeup's been around 80 to 83 range. Pretty good numbers in his career versus the Angels. 2-0 with an ERA 1.96 in 3 career starts.
Breaking pitch got him looking. 2 down. Strikeout number 4 for Moore. Trout 0 for 1. Struck out in the first inning.
Stolen base last night. Joined 3 others with 20 or more home runs and 30 or more stolen bases in a season. He's done it twice. Bobby Bonds did it in '77. Devon White like in 1987. Trout has done it twice already.
Looks at a fastball upstairs. Mike Lasher with 49 stolen bases. At 31 now. There's the 1-0. Something off. 1-1. youngest player ever. Goes back-to-back 20 homer, 30 stolen base seasons. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, we're going to be saying that about him throughout his career. First time ever for a lot of offensive categories. That special of a player.
Chopper toward the middle, and that's a base hit. Just fought that one off. A 2-out single for Mike.
Hey, his first hit as a designated hitter.
Got that going for him.
Yes. Well placed single up the middle.
Trumbo grounded out. Van Zoperson to first. We got a fastball. Jumped on it, comes up empty. It's an 0-1 count.
Well, he was hoping for a fastball in the inner half, and he got one at 91, not overpowering. Just missed that one.
Breaking pitch, taps it foul.
On the ground out last hit bat for Trumbo to Zobrist on a changeup away. We'll try to go upstairs with a fastball now against Trumbo.
Mike Trout over at first, the 2-out single. Second hit allowed by Moore. Check in on Trout.
You know, a lot of times as a base runner, you think in terms of a pitcher going to try to waste a pitch, bounce a breaking ball in the dirt on an 0-2 count. Good opportunity to try to steal a base.
Swing and a miss. Challenged him. And Moore picks up strikeout number 5. We're through 3. The Rays lead it 2-1. Johnson, Lobaton, and Escobar. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 hits allowed, including the home run to Desmond Jennings. Snapped a 1-1 tie. Kelly Johnson 0 for 1, grounded out, but picked up an RBI, the second 51st run batted in for Johnson. This season with the Rays, 16 home runs on the year. Leaving up the count. Vargas threw 20 pitches in that third inning. Could have been a lot worse. That was a bases loaded, no out situation. Managed to allow just 1 run.
A foul tip got Chris Iannetta and hit the dirt. Try to walk it off. A nice play by Luis Jimenez to be able to help out Vargas that last inning. Throwing a 5-2-3 double play.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially if you got a speed guy at the plate, you're all right, content that hit it right to the third baseman. You get the 1 out, take the bases loaded situation, but even with the bobble, able to get rid of it quickly and throw a strike to Iannetta, give him an opportunity to try to throw out Loney, which he did.
Yeah, Iannetta got himself in very good throwing position, got away from that base, and perfect throw to first.
2 balls, 2 strikes now on Johnson. 2 runs, 5 hits, an error, 4 left on for the Rays. 1 run, 2 hits, 3 left on for the Angels. That is hooked into right field. Leadoff single for the 3rd straight inning.
And now it's time for a Head and Shoulders. The whip. Jason Vargas has got that strikeout when he needed it. Lobaton not make contact with the changeup. Hard breaking ball. Gets Escobar swinging. Nice changeup against Will Myers. Finishes off that 3rd inning, limit that damage. Outside the solo home run by Jennings. Very good in his last 4 starts versus the Rays, 3-1 with a 1.32 ERA. But the Rays have been more patient, getting himself in better hitters counts so far against Vargas in this game, though.
Lobaton struck out in the 2nd. Yeah, that if he hits a ground ball, it's only double play ball on him. Outfield shading Lobaton, at least in center and right, the opposite way. Vargas checking in once again on Johnson. 7 stolen bases for him. He's been caught 4 times. Rays 11th in the American League in stolen bases with 65. Two balls and no strikes. Mentioned this is the 5th start for Vargas. He's coming off the disabled list. It's the 2nd one at home. His other home start was against Houston. Got a no decision. Gave up 3 runs on 7 hits and 5 1/3. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks in that one. It's fouled back 2-1.
Boy, Lobaton had a good swing at that fastball. A changeup right now would be a very effective pitch against him.
(3-1). (32 strikes, 22 balls for Vargas. The splits so far, 3+ innings. Leadoff single to Kelly Johnson. He stands at first. Escobar, the shortstop, on deck. 3-1 on the way. This one's lifted in the air to right. Cowgill back a couple of steps. He's got a beat on it. Puts it away for the first out. Escobar struck out of the 2nd. Here's some boos from the Angels faithful. After he struck out to finish off that 2nd inning, Escobar fired his bat toward the dugout. Then the helmet, shin guard, batting gloves.
I don't think it was a situation where he was showing up Vargas. He was upset with himself with the man on third, an opportunity to drive in a run. And 3 pitches struck out.
Very Pedro Serrano-like. Not happy with Joe Boo. Bouncer back up the middle. Green to the backhand. Tried to flip it to Ibarb. Unable to do so on the backhand. Everyone is safe.
And Green playing and shading Escobar up the middle of the baseball, right over the base. Spot where you try to be able to use the hand to be able to flip it back. Very difficult to do so with the glove when you're moving that with that much momentum. You're not thinking in terms of a double play. You're just thinking in terms of getting the out at second if you can.
Escobar credited with a single. And now here's Jennings. 1 for 2 with a home run and a fly to right. 1-0. Jason tried valiantly too to jump up and try to snag that ball. If he does, you get that double play. Keeps getting that call. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But if you're Vargas, you don't want to live up there in that strike zone.
One and two.
Much better feeling that curveball from Vargas at 76.
Johnson a leadoff single. Lobaton a fly to right. And Escobar now with the infield single. First and second, 1 out. 1-2, popped him up. Infield fly rule is called. 2 outs.
Boy, great pitch, off speed. Backed up a slow curveball with the changeup.
Another warm, muggy night tonight. Vargas trying to work out of some trouble again. 2 outs down. Here's Ben Zobrist, the second baseman. Popped out and walked. 0 for 1. One and 0. Catch that outside corner.
Trying to go backdoor with his curveball. Sometimes that goes around the plate, difficult for a home plate umpire to call that a strike.
Snap throw to first and back in safely is Escobar.
Timing play put on by the bench.
Glance back to Johnson, the 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Zobrist's been tracking a lot of the off-speed pitches from Vargas in this game, which are pretty good numbers over in his career for Zobrist against Vargas. 8 for 20, well, 8 for 21 with that pop up at the shortstop, the first at bat.
Rays on top 2-1 here in the 4th. Zobrist fouls this one off to the right. Evens up the count at 2-2. Nice play over there by a fan.
Caught the glove. Took it away from another fan.
As long as he's not under the age of 12. That to me would be the threshold. 14. At 15, you're on your own, kid. Yeah. Got to throw some elbows. Zobrist punches it foul into the seats.
At that point, you can almost get your driver's permit.
Yeah, that 15-year-old is probably taller than the guy. Nowadays. Count remains at 2-2. Matching his third inning total as far as pitches thrown, 65 overall. Another 2-2. Inside. Full count. Nobody cutting in. Base runners are going to take off here with a full count. 2 outs. Johnson from second, Escobar from first. Evan Longoria is on deck. Jason trying to keep it a 2-1 game. Runners go. 3-2. Pulled down the left field line. Escobar is going to come in and score as well. Zobrist to second. And the Rays have themselves a 4-1 lead.
Zobrist continues to swing the bat well against Vargas in his career. Now has 9 hits and 22 at bats. Give him 5 RBI against Vargas. With that pitch on the inner half and turned on right down the left field line. 33rd double of the season. 67th RBI now for Zobrist.
2-out double puts a man at second. 4-1 Rays here in the fourth. Here's Longoria. A single and a walk for him. Looks at a strike. Angels last night with Richards lasting 5 innings. Got 1 out of Rasmus, 1 out of Boshiers, and 2 out of Brazier. In the air down the right field line. Calgill giving chase. Goes into the wall. Did he make the catch? No. 0-2 count. Hopefully didn't hurt himself.
Yeah, it's not a forgiving wall. There's a padding on that cement, but it's not a real thick padding. You run in there, it's going to be pretty firm when you make contact with that wall. As he reaches back, initially had somewhat control in the baseball, and then bang into the wall and into the fan right there, and loses control.
1-2. Tough play too. As you start running out of territory.
So how far you have to go also.
Yeah, do you slide, do you not slide? You know, all those things play a factor into it. Juan Gutierrez beginning to play catch. Vargas at 70 pitches right now. 2-2. Gutierrez has been dealing with a sore shoulder. He's not pitched since the 24th. That was that first stop, 3-city trip, last road trip. Longoria fouls it back. Still at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, just threw a light bullpen session yesterday and declared himself ready to be coming into the game, up tonight.
Little number to the left side. Vargas cuts it off, fires to first. Top of the fourth comes to an end, but up for the Rays. Tack on 2 more runs. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Halos down 4-1.
TNT U-verse rewind. Eric Ibar in a tough road trip, but certainly the first game back showing some pop. The home run down the right field line, then a triple, and then first at bat tonight, a double to left center field. So home run, triple double in his last 3 at-bats as he's starting to get hot once again. Eric Ibar. 4 RBIs last night.
Ibar, Jimenez, and Borges against Matt Moore. Has 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, just 2 hits allowed. Ibar double and a Trout single. Outfield shallow against Ibar, even though he hit that ball over the head of Kelly Johnson in left field last time up. 2-0. And Moore had to sit for a little while as that top of the 4th inning played out. Stake to now a 3-run lead. 2-0. Check swing. Went around. Titchener rings it up 2-1. Eric Lansing down the line.
Pretty close. Eric Ibar didn't think so, though. Two-one changeup there, Eric Ibar.
Respect in the 5-hole.
As you saw our AT&T U-verse rewind with the home run triple-double.
He's got those Google glasses on. He was able to jump into our feed.
Don't blame him.
3-1 on the way. And a leadoff walk. Halos will take that. 3rd issued by Moore. And Fox Sports 1 is available on all TV providers. Go to foxsports1.com. Find out what channel Fox Sports 1 is on in your area. Luis Jimenez grounded out of the 2nd. What's it, a strike? Lucho's 0 for 1. Fine defensive play back in the 3rd. Can't leave it up. Trying to make a name for himself. Put himself on the map as far as the depth chart. Third baseman for the Angels going into the offseason and the spring training next year.
He's made a lot of real good plays at third base, filled with some clutch hits. The energy level he brings to the club.
Well, you know, a guy is making some sort of impact when you get visiting team broadcasts. You know, we chat with a lot of these broadcasters daily, but after a game or before the next day's game, where they come up to you and say, that kid can pick it at third base, or he's fun to watch. 2 balls and a strike. Getting a chance to kind of work out the Kings offensively at the major league level, kind of being force fed, which is good. You know the defensive side is there. The offensive side, you hope, kind of can keep pace a little bit.
Yeah, once he gets his swing comfortable and starts driving the ball to right center field, you see that batting average increase, run production increase.
Skies this one to left. Just got underneath it. Had a fastball to handle there. Kelly Johnson makes the grab. That's the first down here, the 4th. Well, 1 out, 1 on, and Peter Borges coming up now. Peter walked in the 2nd inning. Forced down at 2nd. Good lead for Ibar at first. Bunted off the plate, foul.
Yeah, trying to push down the first base line. More left-handed pitchers have a tendency to fall over towards third base, opening up that right side of the infield for a push bunt.
Lifted in the air right. Myers broke back. Now in. Now back again. 2 down. And for Peterson's coming off the disabled list, he's such a talented bunter. Bunting for base hits and the like. It's the one part of his game he hasn't quite found that that rhythm, that tempo, catching the ball off the bat, deadening the baseball.
It still seems like they have a difficult time tracking the baseball,
right,
and the plane to be able to get the baseball and put it down in that infield grass.
Here's Cowgill. Reached out a fielder's choice. Looks at the breaking ball for a strike. Leadoff walk, and Eric Ibar still standing at first. 4-1 Rays here at the bottom of the 4th. 8 hits for Tampa Bay, 2 for the Angels. Moore about to throw a 65th pitch of the night. Ground ball toward short. Escobar cuts it off, flips it over to second. Zobrist has the foot come off the bag. Everyone is safe.
Should be a base hit for Cowgill. Escobar cut that one off. Tough little last hop. Tried to flip it to Zobrist. Ibar came sliding in. Zobrist tried to keep his foot on the base and catch the baseball, and he was unable to do either one of them. As the inning is continued here for Grant Green, an opportunity to drive in a run.
Grant struck out looking at a second. Gets away from Lobaton. The runners will advance. A wild pitch.
The 11th wild pitch of the year for Moore. This is a breaking ball that Lobaton you would think would be in position to be able to keep that in front, but that spin on the breaking ball, you have to keep your shoulders squared up and get the good part of your body in front of that. Otherwise, it's going to spin off your shoulder area and get away from you.
Green fouls it off to the right. Loney will give it a look, but it's in the seats. Two balls and a strike. Popped him up. Longoria, the third baseman, moving to his left, puts it away, and the Angels leave a couple of men on. We've played 4 here at the Big A. Rays on top 4-1.
Pick AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. And by Toyota's nationwide clearance event. Now you can save big on every Toyota car, truck, and SUV.
Jason Vargas back to work as we start the 5th inning. 4-1 Rays. Delman Young leading things off. Looks at a strike. Delman 1 for 2 with a pop-up and a single. Third game with the Rays. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vargas now at 75 pitches, 4+ innings, 8 hits, including a home run, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Really's had a tough time hitting his spots with his fastball. That sets up his secondary pitches.
Good off-speed pitch. Evens up the count at 2-2. Two on the way. Delman pulls one into left field.
Another breaking ball to this track. Didn't have a lot of sharp break to it. Delman Young able to get the good part of the bat. Now down and in. Has a chance to get a swing and miss or a ground ball, but that was elevated.
Looks like Mike Butcher going back to the bullpen phone. Juan Gutierrez was up in the 4th inning. The Angels start to get some action going. There's James Loney. 1 for 2. A single with a run scored in the 2nd. Double play ball in the 3rd. Juan's going to start loosening once again. This was out to right center field, a base hit. Cowgill cuts it off. Delman Young going to try to go to third. Cowgill bobbled the baseball. May have had a play at third base.
Yeah, he was thinking he had a great opportunity to throw out Delman Young at third, but couldn't get a handle on the baseball. Loney hit this one well. Another elevated pitch. And Delman Young very aggressive. Well, there's no question that Cowgill, with his arm strength, would have had a good shot at throwing him out. But couldn't get the handle on the baseball.
Ianna's going to go out and talk things over, eat some time up, and allow Gutierrez to get ready. Mike Scioscia is going to make the call here. 80 pitches into the start. Nobody out here to fifth inning. At the first pitching change of the ballgame. Jason Vargas will be done after 4 plus 2 batters, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and with property at first and third. It was a battle for him all night long. He departs with the Angels down 4-1. Hits allowed, including the home run to Desmond Jennings. And he departs with Delman Young at third base. James Loney at first. So in and out. Take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Oh, this is a big thing for him tonight, was his ability, talk about radar love, to be able to spot his fastball. It's not velocity on the fastball, but it's ability to spot the fastball both inside and outside and set up his great changeup and very good curveball. Wasn't able to do so. Didn't really have a real good feel for his curveball either. That's why you see the results. We don't see that too often from Vargas.
Juan Gutierrez takes over on the mound in our in and out, who's in, who's out. 42nd game of the season, 17th with the Angels. 0-4 mark, 4.23 ERA, 44 2/3 innings, 45 hits, 32 strikeouts. We'll be facing Will Myers. Last outing for Gutierrez a week ago Saturday in Seattle. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout on that one. Then dealing with sore shoulder. Myers tonight with a double and a strikeout. 1 for 2. Chopper toward short. Ibar has it, comes home with it. They've got Young. Dead to rights. 1 out. Ianna fires to second. They almost got a double play.
Loney may have hurt his shoulder diving back into the base also. Well played by Eric Ibar. Play at the plate. Nice job as far as that's a tough throw too on the run, but a perfect throw. Well done by Ionetta. It makes a quick tag and then a quick throw back to second. As he's reached with that shoulder, it looked like he was moving his shoulder around a lot. Right shoulder.
Kelly Johnson up now. 1 out, runners at first and second. Myers reaching on the fielder's choice. Kelly Johnson 1 for 2. Single, RBI and a run scored.
Certain time the contact play is good to put on, but not when there's no outs. Make sure that ball gets through the infield at that point. A break for the Angels.
Johnson lifts one out to shallow right center field. Borges moving over. 2 outs. Loney back to second. And Jose Lobaton, the catcher, will spin around to hit from the left side. 0 for 2 tonight with a punch out and a fly ball to right.
And that's why you don't necessarily put the contact play on with no outs. That could have resulted in a run at that point on a fly ball. With 1 out, yes, contact play on. The Angels do that very, very well. They generally don't put that play on with no outs, especially with the infield in at that point.
One ball, no strikes on Lobaton. Gutierrez trying to finish off this 5th inning and pick up Vargas. This is lined into center field, a base hit. Loney is going to be waved around. Borges up with it. Fires it home. The throw is cut off by Trumbo. The throw goes to third. They got him. The run counts, though. And I think they had a play at the plate.
And that might have been real, real close because Ionetta was in position to be able to take control of the plate. Not much of an area to slide in.
5-1 Rays. It resulted in the last out of the top of the 5th.
Well, you can see right here with the throw from Borges, and Loney is just right here, and then the throw's going to be right in line towards home plate. There's going to be a play with that strong arm that Borges has, but Trumbo cuts it off, tries to get the play at third, before Loney touches the plate. But in reality, if that ball goes through, that ball is right on line for Borges because he got himself a great throwing position. And that ball would have been one hop right to Iannetta.
Chuck drops the ball on the third base side. Longoria gloves it, fires to first. They get shucked to start the bottom of the fifth. Nice play by Longoria. Pretty good bunt by JB. One out.
Thought he might do that at some point in the game by Shuck against a tough lefty like Matt Moore. And you can see just out of the corner, Longoria coming in and anticipating a perfect throw. The transfer and quick throw to get Shuck, who was in position to get an infield hit with that perfect bunt, but Longoria a little better fielding it.
There's Chris Iannetta. Looks at his strike. Iannetta is 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. One of 5 strikeouts for Moore. He's also issued 3 walks. He's limited the Angels to just 3 hits. 1-1. Halos have struggled against lefties all season. 244 team batting average compared to 271. But Moore has been on his game tonight for a first start back off the disabled list.
Yeah, he's had a good feel for his changeup and breakable and enough velocity on his fastball to offset those change of speed pitches. Does a real good job as far as keeping his eyes on the target. Very fluid in his mechanics. Works downhill very well. That has had some long at-bats against him, though. The 3-2 walks first at bat. 3-2 count here. Struck him out looking. And a long at bat in his second at bat.
Strikes him out with a high fastball. 2 down. Hey folks, the Angel Team Store is now offering stadium exclusive premium Angel hats and a chance to meet Mike Trout. Now through Thursday, fans who buy select stadium exclusive hats at the Stadium Team Store will meet Mike Trout on Friday. So you've got to do that between now and Thursday to meet Trout on Friday. For more info to purchase your hat, visit the Team Store. Call them 714-940-2618. 2 outs, nobody on, and Trout takes a pitch upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Mike 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. Digging through some of the notes, found a nugget on Trout after his game last night. He's got a slash line of .335 batting average, .432 on base percentage, .576 slugging percentage. That's it for a strike. No player has ever stolen at least 30 bases in an age 21 season and finished the year with an OPS over 1,000. Closest to that, Denny Lyons, 943 OPS for Philadelphia. That was in the American Association in 1887.
1887?
1887.
So it was a few years back.
Yeah. 30 bags and an OPS over 1,000. Not bad.
Not bad for a late first round draft pick.
Yeah. That'll work. He works the walk. 4th issued by Moore. Goes with 2 outs here. Trumbull will get an opportunity.
Leads the American League in that category also.
That is Roberto Hernandez, the artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona. Got the start against the Angels last week in St. Pete. Moore at 81 pitches now. 5-1 Rays here in the 5th. Boy, 1 swing of the bat. Take a 2-run deficit. Take your chances, especially the way Moore has pitched tonight. 1-0. Trumbo 0 for 2 with a ground down to strikeout.
He's trying to get through this 5th inning. Joe Maddon had said that to keep him through 5 innings or 90 pitches. Getting close to that plateau at 82 right now.
2-0. Trout not going anywhere. The Rays with a run in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd on the Jennings home run, 2 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th.
And Jim Hickey notices the same thing, that he's trying to aim pitches, force pitches now. Well, when you know you're on a pitch count, that's at times the most difficult thing to clear your mind with. Try to make a perfect pitch instead of staying in the same rhythm you've had pretty much the first 4 innings. Outside of the 2nd inning, Eric Ibar led off with a double. He's been in cruise control, but now all of a sudden battling it. Four walks and 6 punch-outs.
Fouled off to the right. 2-1.
Matt Moore certainly has gotten his fair share of runs to work with. 6th best in the majors.
Trumbo lines one out to left field. Kelly Johnson moves over, makes the grab. The Angels half of the 5th is in the books. 5 complete. 5-1 Rays.
We're tied at 1, top of the 3rd. Desmond Jennings unties the game with that swing leading off the 3rd, and then Ben Zobrist, a double down the left field line in the 4th, scores 2. Then Jose Lobaton, line drive back up the middle, scores the 5th run of the game for the Rays. They lead this one 5-1 here in the top of the 6th.
Matt Moore, 5 innings for him, 1 run. 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks. Junel Escobar swings to the first one, drives one out to right center field. Borges pulls up. That is gone. Make it 6-1 Rays. First pitch swinging Escobar on a fastball. He picks up his 9th of the season.
We said Escobar jumps on that first pitch fastball, and he certainly did on that one. Continues to put up good numbers in his career versus the Angels. Game last night, 389 career hitter against the Angels. Got a fastball here right down the heart of the plate. No question, got the good part of the bat, barreled up and went the other way, well out to right center field. 9th home run. 2nd run he's scored now in the game.
Desmond Jennings 1 for 3. Jennings homered in the 3rd inning, his 12th of the year. Joe Blanton getting ready now, it looks like. Breaking pitch upstairs. 12 hits tonight for the Rays. Vargas, by the way, 4 innings, 10 hits, including the home run to Jennings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 runs, all earned. Ground ball towards short. Ibar to his left. Low throw, trouble, can't take it out. 12th error of the year for Eric Ibar.
Well played by Eric, but then the low throw tried to be a quick pick from that ball in the dirt from Trumbo, unable to do so. It's away from him. Eric Ibar, 12th error of the season. Had been on a very good streak as far as being outstanding with the glove.
Nobody out. Man at first. Here's Zobrist. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Zobrist tonight 1 for 2. He's popped out, walked, and picked up a 2 RBI double. That came with 2 outs in the 4th inning. At that point, it's just a 2-1 Rays lead. That made it 4-1. Longoria on deck. Jennings with 18 stolen bases on the season. Team leader for the Rays. Zobrist second with 10.
Has been caught 7 times though.
Pitch out.
Well, it looked like Jennings was thinking about going, but he read something different from Gutierrez as far as delivery to the plate. A bit quicker than normal, and then stop. You try to keep everything exactly the same when you have a pitch out put on by your manager.
Jennings started, then stopped. 2 balls and a strike now on Zobrist. Double that Zobrist hit in the 4th inning, his 33rd of the year. Machado leads the American League 46. Jet Lowry second with 41. Trout 6th overall. Jennings takes off. Zobrist takes that pitch down low, throw down. Out of town, stolen base. Pretty good throw by Nedham.
He did everything he could on that one. Quick transfer, perfect throw. Jennings a big jump. Real close play, all things considered, how much of a jump Jennings had.
Overthrown off speed pitch, and it's a walk. Brings up Longoria. Hey, tonight's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, Japan. We welcome you. Thank you for your service. 2 on, nobody out. Escobar led off the 6th inning with a home run. Very first pitch of the inning. And now Longoria will step in. 1 for 2. A single in the first, a walk in the third. A little nubber to Vargas in the fourth. Bland is done warming up. Doesn't take much on a night like tonight. One ball, one strike.
Gutierrez trying to get a double play from Longoria here.
This one chopped foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Only other game that's still going on in the American League, Texas and Oakland. These 2 teams tied atop the division. Oakland taking game 1 last night. Bartolo Colon and Martin Perez tonight.
Martin Perez has been throwing well for Texas.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Longoria, 1 out. Good breaking pitch there.
Sharp break to it. Longoria no chance making contact. Hard breaking ball.
Here's Delmon Young, the DH tonight. 2 for 3. A pop up and a couple of strikeouts. Desmond Jennings, the base runner, at second. Zobrist at first. Delmon likes to hack first pitch as well. No balls and 1 strike. 2 more games in this series tomorrow night, Thursday night. Texas rolls into town for 3 beginning on Friday. The Angels back out on the road. A 10-game road trip. Minnesota, Toronto, Houston, Oakland. Glad the Rays wanted the run there. Oh, 2.
Look at the starting pitchers for the next 2 games in the series. Jeremy Hellickson back for the Rays in the rotation. 10-game winner against Jared Weaver for his 10th win. And David Price, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, going against Jerome Williams. Pretty quality pitchers right there with Jared Weaver and David Price.
A lot of focus on the base runners. Grant Green was cutting in on that one. 0-2 count on Delmon with James Loney on deck. Hitting the air to left. Shock moving over. Drowns.
Not too good of an 0-2 pitch. Gutierrez against Delman Young.
Gutierrez thrown 21 pitches, and with Loney coming to the plate. First outing for him in over a week, so Mike Scioscia is going to take him out. And Joe Blanton, it looks like, is going to come into the ball game. We got ourselves a pitching change. We're in the 6th inning. The Halos trail at 6-1.
Angels baseball is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by El Pollo Loco. Crazy you can taste.
Welcome you back out here to the Big A. The Halos down 6-1. 12-hit attack for the Tampa Bay Rays with a couple of home runs. And with 2 outs and 2 on, Mike Scioscia has gone to the bullpen, brought in Joe Blanton. 28th game for him. That includes 20 starts.
Yeah, first game since August 20th for Blanton.
Desmond Jennings at second, Zober still at first, and James Loney will be the batter. Loney 2 for 3 tonight, couple of singles, and 2 runs scored. This one skied to shallow center. Peter Borges tips in. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Angels down 6-1. any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Matt Moore, we thought was done after 5, but he's back out there. Although Roberto Hernandez is still loosening. Eric Ibar takes upstairs. Ibar, Jimenez, and Borges for the Angels here in the 6th. Eric's been on board twice with a double and a walk, both times leading off an inning. 1-1. 5 innings, 3 hits, 6 punch outs, 4 walks for Moore, 1 run allowed.
This may well be a 1 batter and done here for Matt Moore.
Two and 1. Roberto on the right, Wesley on the left. On the corner, 2-2. This is pulled to short. Escobar has it. 1 away. Going to bring up Luis Jimenez.
A discussion between Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, and Joe Madden.
Looked like they were talking about, if I read lips at all, he said Ibar. I think he was talking about the way Ibar swung the bat tonight. A couple of pitches elevated. Normally, the right side of the plate for Eric is deficient for him, but he's hit the ball hard twice tonight.
He squared up some baseball.
Yeah.
Looked comfortable at the plate.
Against a pretty good pitcher.
I was going to say that. A very, very good pitcher, Matt Moore.
Jimenez, did he go around? He did. 1-2 on that hard breaking pitch. Luis is 0 for 2. Ground ball to third and a fly ball to left. Off speed, looped into right field. Myers moving over, falls in for a hit. Throw a 1-out base hit. We'll bring up Peter Borges. Joe Madden is now going to come out. Moore ends up going 5 1/3. 4 hits allowed. And Roberto Hernandez will be coming into this ball game, we believe. Peter Borges due up. First outing back.
That's a good sign for Joe Madden and the Rays when you have that kind of a quality outing for the top-notch lefty. And Matt Moore coming back. First start since July 28th. 14-3 record coming into this game. Threw the ball very well.
Matt Moore is done. Roberto Hernandez coming into the game with the Rays leading at 6-1. after Moore's first performance. Coming off a disabled list, 94 pitches, 5 1/3, 4 hits allowed.
Oh, pretty good quality left-handed starters there with David Price and Matt Moore.
Roberto Hernandez now on in relief. 26th game for him. Hernandez has been used as a starter as well. 24 starts. 6-13, a 4.95 ERA.
Hernandez fastball 89-94, slider, changeup.
Borges takes outside. Hernandez got the start in the opening game of the series down in St. Petersburg, allowed 3 runs in 6 innings, was 2 batters, 8 hits, 6 strikeouts against the Angels. Jimenez over at first. Borges 0 for 1 with a walk and a fly to right. Evens up the count.
Borges with some good numbers against Hernandez. 3 for 9 with a home run.
In the dirt, and Jimenez will take the extra base. Good read by Luis.
Secondary lead, read that ball in the dirt. Lobaton unable to get to it quick enough, and he's in scoring position now.
Oh, it's still diving head first too, even with that shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I said that's the time where you might want to go feet first into the base. Preventing any more damage on the shoulder at that point.
2-1 count. Bouncer foul. Cowgill on deck. Borges goes down swinging for round number 2.
That's a pretty good changeup. Hernandez has a good one.
Here's Colin Cowgill, the right fielder, 1 for 2, single in the 4th. Bucks with foul at the third base line.
Down by 5, needing base runners. Longoria playing back. Cowgill figured, why not take a base hit?
Longoria is still playing back. Bouncer, foul, wide of the bag. The ball is 2 strikes. Rays with 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, 8 stranded 8. Halos with a run on 4 hits, 1 error left, 6 on base. Cowgill goes down swinging back-to-back strikeouts for Hernandez. We've played 6 here at the Big A. The Rays maintain a 6-1 lead.
Max Scherzer looking for that number 20 once again, but unable to get and join the 20-win club. Denied in Boston by John Lester and the Red Sox. Win that one 2-1. And the Pirates looking for 500 with the win tonight. Pittsburgh, 81st win, will be at least at the 500 mark for the first time since 1992 for the Pirates.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It's unbelievable when you think how long it's been for the Pirates. Mark Balanza, by the way, his 11th save, his ERA 0.87 for the Pirates out of the bullpen. Picking up Jason Grilli.
Yeah. Joe Bland threw one pitch to finish off the 6th inning. There's a 1-ball, 1-strike count here at Myers to start 7th. Myers 1 for 3 with a double back in the 2nd. Line into the alley in left center field. Borges has to hurry to cut it off. Goes into the slide. Myers going to try to go to 2nd. And he is in there with a leadoff double.
Second double of the game for Myers. 13th now of the season. Borges did everything he could. Cut that baseball off. Cut it off and get up quickly to throw to 2nd. And a good, accurate throw also. But Will Myers just got the foot in before Grant Greene could tag him.
Pretty good speed for a big guy. There's Kelly Johnson. 1 for 3 game. That's 6 consecutive innings in which the Rays have had their leadoff man reach. They've scored in 4 of the previous 5.
Yeah, I talked to Joe Madden before the game today. He just felt at some point this offense was just going to relax and start putting it together. Well, they certainly have today with 13 hits and 6 runs. You mentioned all the leadoff hits for the Rays, putting a lot of pressure on the Angels that way.
One ball, 2 strikes, and Kelly Johnson picked up an RBI. 2nd inning with a ground out. Johnson goes down swinging for the first down.
Good changeup from Blanton. Johnson out in front, couldn't make contact on a changeup from Joe Blanton.
Jose Lobaton at the plate now. The catcher 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Looks at his strike. Lobaton brought home James Loney from 2nd with his base hit off Juan Gutierrez. One ball, 1 strike. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Another good changeup. First pitch to Lobaton, very good changeup. Then back-to-back fastballs. I think in terms he might go right back with another changeup.
Two. Outside, full count. Escobar on deck. He homered it last time up. Fouled off to the left. Count still full. Another 3-2. Lobotone pulls this one down the line. Trumbo's got it. Takes it himself. 2 down. Myers ends up at third. Hey kids, the Angels want to honor our youngest fans this coming Sunday. Halo's taking on the Rangers. That's a 12:35 start. All kids in attendance will have the chance to win great prizes like Disneyland tickets, Boomers passes, autographed merchandise, and more. Purchase tickets today. Visit angels.com/promotions. What kind of ice cream do you think he's got in that waffle cone?
Vanilla. That's a perfect snack on a hot night like tonight.
Big fan of the waffle cone.
Yes.
Even that waffle cup thing that they've got.
It smells great when they're making those.
Yeah. Yep, chocolate. Eat that whole thing, kid. You'll be in bed by 1.
Prime for school.
Yeah. Bad boiler and everything. 1 ball, 1 strike on Escobar. 2 for 3 game, a single and a home run. He's also struck out. Texas leading Oakland 5-1. That game's in the 8th. Escobar fouls it off. 1-2. A win by Texas would put them back in the lead by a game. Leadoff double by Myers. He stands at third base. 1-2.
Well, Joe thought he hit his spot. Trying to paint the outside corner at 92.
Another 2-2. Breaking ball. Full count. Gets away from Iannetta. Will bring in a run. And it's 7-1 Rays.
Overthrown breaking ball. Gets away from Iannetta once it hits the dirt. Getting the spin on the breaking ball. Tried to be able to keep it in front. Away from Iannetta. Scoring the 7th run of the game for Tampa.
And he walks Escobar. Back to the top of the order we go, and Desmond Jennings coming up. Jennings tonight 1 for 4. Home run back in the 3rd inning. One ball and strike. Home run for Jennings back in the third inning, his 12th of the year. 42 runs batted, and he's also picked up a stolen base tonight. Vargas tonight going just 4 innings, giving up 5 runs. Just did not have it. 10 hits allowed. Command an issue for him.
So many quality games here at the Big A, both as an Angel and as a visiting pitcher here for Vargas. Unusual to see his command not there for him tonight.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Jack swing. He went around. Hoping umpire Bill Miller rings him up. Top of the 7th is in the books. 7th inning stretch time. The Halos now trail at 7-1. Bottom of the 7th inning, Roberto Hernandez back out on the mound. Got a new right fielder, Sam Fold, takes over for Will Myers, and David DeJesus in left field taking over for Kelly Johnson. 9-1-2 for the Angels. Green, Shuck, and Iannetta. Hernandez came in and got the last 2 outs via the strikeout in the 6th. The first one here is in for a strike. Grant Green tonight 0 for 2, punch out, and a pop-up. One ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got 3 straight strikeouts for Roberto Hernandez, 1 out. Go back and take a look at our AT&T Twitter poll question of the series. Your favorite new Angels position player. Cole Calhoun still leading the charge at 50% of the vote.
Cole Calhoun with 33%. Grant Green with a home run, pinch hit home run last night. I think it's 17%. Great changeup for Hernandez.
JB Shuck looks at a strike. JB tonight 0 for 3. A punch out, a pop up, and a ground out. Matt Moore tonight stellar through 5 1/3. And Hernandez so far in his 1 inning has been fantastic with 3 punch-outs. That was limited last year with Cleveland due to visa issues he had because of the falsifying his name and record. Mentioned signing with Cleveland is Fausto Carmona.
That's some good years with Cleveland.
And Shuck goes down swinging. 4 up, 4 down, 4 punch outs.
Well, he's real comfortable throwing his changeup now. Well, Shuck well at in front of the changeup.
Got that splitter-like movement to it. Dying at the end. Chris Sinet in the hole at 0-1. The walk and 2 strikeouts for him. Halos tonight have managed 4 hits. 2-1.
That's after having 16 hits last night.
And you knew that even though Moore was coming off the disabled list, what he's capable of doing, it was going to be a tough task. 14-game winner coming into tonight. Netta pulls it foul.
Plus a lot of success in 3 starts versus the Angels prior. 2-0 with an ERA 1.96 coming into the game. Well, you wonder if he'll go with his changeup right now. 2-2 count.
Here's the 2-2. Just got a piece of it. Chris keeps his at-bat alive. Ten strikeouts tonight for Rays pitching. Called strike 3, and Hernandez strikes out the side. We've played 7. Halos down 7-1.
Painting Jack in the Box today. and by Chase. Send money to almost anyone, anywhere with your smartphone. Chase Quick Pay, so you can.
Now let's take a look at our Captain Morgan game reset. Jason Vargas, not quite as crisp tonight. 4+ innings, 5 earned runs. Matt Moore, very good. 5 1/3, just 1 run, and it was unearned. Rays, all 9 starters with a hit. Much more consistent with the bat tonight.
Ben Zobrist leading things off for the Rays. New shortstop for the Angels. Andrew Romine takes over for Eric Ibarm. On board twice tonight with a double and a walk. It's 2 balls, no strikes on Zobrist. Rays second baseman 1 for 2. 2 RBI double in the 4th. A couple of walks and a pop-up. Three 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk to start the 8th.
3rd walk of the game for Zobrist with a double.
Brings up Evan Longoria. One for 3 now with a single and a walk. Five out of the strikes out now for Bland to start this 8th inning. And Mike Butcher's going to come out as well and join in this conversation. .34 pitches and split right down the middle for Bland. 17. Bland came on with 2 outs in the 6th inning. And on 1 pitch got James Loney to hit the fly ball out to finish off that frame. Gave up a run in the 7th. And with that walk, by the way, going back to what we were talking about in the 7th inning, another leadoff man reaching. Only one retired tonight was Desmond Jennings to lead off the game. Check swing, fly ball to right.
Well, when you do that, it's immediate stress for you on the mound when you have that leadoff guy on. Gives your opposing manager options, bunting, hit and run, stealing bases. You're always better off, especially as a pitcher or starter, pitching from the full windup, forced out of the stretch right away.
Longoria shoots it to right field, diving for it, and no catch made. First base umpire Todd Titchener with the call. Nice effort on the part of Colin Cowgill. So a walk and now a single to Longoria.
Valiant effort by Cowgill. You want to see the baseball hit the ground first, and it did, and then into the glove. Tried to sell it. But Longoria gets a base hit, his 2nd of the game.
Dalvin Young tonight 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Fastball was in there. 2-1. Every starter for the Rays with at least one hit. All these starters no longer in the game. Myers and Johnson, they were replaced in the 7th inning. DeJesus, pardon me, and Fold, respectively. Ground ball to third. Jimenez meets Green for one. Wheeler to first. Pulls Trumbo off the bat. Instead of 2 outs and a man at third, it's 1 out, runners at first and third, and James Loney coming up.
One ground ball, I guess, well played by Jimenez once again. Good feed over to Grant Green. And the throw pulls Trumbo off the base. He tries to apply a tag to Delman Young going by.
Zobrist at third base and Young at first. Len has started everybody. Buddy off in the 8th inning with a ball. 14 hits now for the Rays. They've stranded 9. The Angels have left 7 on base. 2-0. And no action in either pen.
Hernandez has been a starter, as has Joe Blanton, so they give you innings out of the bullpen.
And Hernandez has been ridiculous. 5 up, 5 down with 5 punches.
He even pitched well in Tampa against the Angels in that start.
Loney takes a big rip, fouls it back. 2-1. Former Dodger traded to the Red Sox and signing a free agent deal with the Rays this past offseason. Three balls and a strike with Sam Fold on deck. And he walked him. So they're loaded up now for Fold. Walk by Blanton, the third one that he has issued. Inning in 2/3. It's actually DeJesus, right? They didn't do the changes straight up, and why would they? Fold is on deck. David hitting .290 in 10 games with the Rays. 3 doubles, 1 RBI. He's in that leadoff spot last night. Ended up going 0 for 4. A walk. Rips the first one over to Trumbo. Backhands it. Double clutch. He's rolled line back to first. In time, a double play. So we'll head to the bottom of the 8th with the Angels trailing at 7-1. Roberto Hernandez back out on the bump. An inning and 2/3 for him. 5 strikeouts so far. He'll face Trout, Trumbo, and Romine. Trout looks at a strike. Trout tonight 1 for 2. Strikeout, a single, and a walk.
Well, that changeup is very, very good from Hernandez tonight.
He's got a little bounce in his step, feeling pretty good. Pulled foul.
Came back with another changeup.
Fastball down and in. Overshift on Trout. First I think I've seen. 3 infielders on the left side.
Yeah, especially because his ability to hit the ball hard to right center field. A huge gap in right center field also.
This one out to right field. Sam Fole giving chase. Curls around. Makes the backhanded catch. The first down. Hey fans, make sure to check out the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado that comes with an available 5.3 liter engine and offers the best V8 fuel economy of any 2-wheel drive pickup. Visit your local Chevy Silverado dealer today for all the latest offers and details. Trumbo looks at a fastball for a strike. Mark tonight 0 for 3 with a ground down, a punch out, and a fly ball to left.
That's that 2-seam fastball we saw down in St. Pete. Very difficult for a right-handed batter to make good contact against. If you do, you're going to hit off your leg or pull it foul.
Case in point. Trouble didn't even.
That is
flinch.
nasty.
Yeah. And even if you know it's coming, it's still tough to lay off him.
So he's going 2-seam fastball, back it up with a changeup.
And it went around. Bill Miller rings it up. 2 outs. A little bit of a delayed call, but looked like the right one. Here comes Andrew Romine.
Another nasty pitch. That's 6 punch-outs for Hernandez out of the bullpen. There was talk about him potentially starting tomorrow night.
Romine skies one to right field. Sam Fole is there. And the Angels' half of the 8th inning is in the books. We'll head to the 9th. And the Rays still on top. instant highlight show everyone is talking about. Fox Sports Live with Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole. Joined by Donovan McNabb, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, and Carissa Thompson. They'll bring you everything you need to know about the world of sports. Fox Sports Live airs nightly on Fox Sports 1. Bland back out. Bottom third of the order. Fold, Lobaton, and Escobar. 7, 8, 9. First plate appearance for Sam Fold. First plate appearance is his relief appearance last night. Pitched to the bottom of the 8th inning and got J.B. Shuck to hit a fly ball to center field. And it was an odd time for it. Fold taps it foul because there were 2 outs in the inning, a man on base. And if you're Josh Lukey, you probably feel maybe perhaps a little embarrassed that a position player is taking over. But Joe Madden, just like everything else, has rationale, reasoning behind a lot of things that he does. It's way outside, 1 and 2. Stated after the game that with the way things have been going, they just got swept in Oakland. They just given up 16 hits, and they were down 11 to 2 in the 8th inning. Wanting to kind of boost the morale a little bit of the guys. Told Sam to go out to the pen to get ready. It just worked out that a left-handed batter came up, and Sam Fold got into the game and got that last out.
Joe will do those interesting things. There's no question. Even talking to him today, trying to get the team together after the game to get a bite to eat, trying to keep the morale there, knowing this club is capable of putting together a winning streak. I mean, they had they've had their stretches in which they've been arguably the best team in baseball, but of late they've been struggling to score runs. So just trying to keep it loose for them.
Lobaton, skies went out to right field. Cowgill moving back. 1 away. So 1 out, 1 on, and Yunel Escobar coming up. Been on board 3 times with a single, a home run, and a walk. Hit attack for the Rays. This one pulled to short. Romine has it, 2 outs.
Romine's made a couple good plays. Was able to finish off last inning with a 3-6-1 double play. Good feed to Blanton covering the base.
Here's Desmond Jennings, a center fielder. 1 for 5 game. 1 though, a home run back in the 3rd. '56th pitch thrown by Blanton. The Angels will have Jimenez, Borges, and Cowgill due up in the 9th. Roberto Hernandez will be coming back out. Zobrist on deck. Blanton with 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 hits allowed. There's a 2-out walk. So 2 on, 2 outs now for Zobrist.
Only 7 walks, 15 hits for the Rays tonight.
Got 16 walks combined in the first 2 games of this series for the Angels pitchers, but still picked up the win last night. Losing into this one tonight.
And your ace on the hill tomorrow night, Jared Weaver.
Jared slithered through a win in Milwaukee over the weekend.
Still can't get that out of my mind. A 3-0 count. It's Maldonado, the catcher, swings at it, pops it up. And from that point forward, Weaver made the adjustment and started the deal.
It's kind of like last night. Will Myers, bases loaded, that swing and a miss on the breaking ball or the fastball up and in.
Sometimes hitters get overly aggressive. The eyes get big and think they're going to drive a ball.
3-1. Longoria on deck. Full count now. Runners are going to take off with the next pitch. 2 outs here. And he went around. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th here at the Big A with the Angels down 7-1. Stick around after the last down. We'll break it all down for you in Angels Live post-game. Jose Mota will join me underneath the hats. Ken French will check in with us from the clubhouse. That Angels Live post-game presented by your SoCal Mazda dealer.
.33 pitches thrown for Hernandez. 25 strikes.
Meadows pulls one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luis 1 for 3, a base hit in the 6th inning. Ground ball back to the mound. 1 out. There's Peter Borges. Tomorrow night, the Angels, it seems to be a 1-1 series tie. We'll have Jared Weaver on the hill going up against Jeremy Hellickson.
And Hellickson has been struggling. Very, very good changeup from Hellickson. He's allowed 20 home runs this season. So in 153 2/3 innings pitched. And he's on a roll. Very, very good, especially when he can spot his changeup both sides of the plate. But his fastball command has not been as good for a stretch of time here.
Out. 2 balls, no strikes on Peter. A walk, a fly ball to right, and a strikeout for Borges tonight. 0 for 2. Chopper foul. Ground ball to third. Longoria, a little bit of a bobble. Fires across the diamond. 2 outs.
Well played by Longoria. That ball was hit hard by Borges. Top hop. He got his thumb.
Halos down to the last out here. Down 7-1. And Colin Callaghill coming up. 1 for 3 game for Colin. Had a base hit back in the 4th inning. Matt Moore, Jason Vargas, the starters today, both the pitchers of record. Moore will be picking up his 15th win of the season. Vargas take the loss, his 6th.
Hernandez has retired all 10 batters he has faced.
Be a good weapon for the Rays down the stretch.
He's the guy to get ground ball outs for you and also get a strikeout. He has 6 strikeouts.
Swing and a miss, and the Angels drop game 2. The Tampa Bay Rays tonight by the final of 7-1.
Boy, this is an offensive onslaught for Tampa, which had been struggling. 15 hits, scoring 7 runs. Escobar with a home run. Jennings with a home run. Matt Moore, the story, 5 1/3 quality innings, 15-game winner now this season. Roberto Hernandez picks up his first major league save, going 3 2/3 of absolute dominant pitching out of the bullpen for the Rays. The Rays win this one 7-1. Stay tuned for Angels Live. Victor Rojas, Jose Moto will break it all down.